So now we study about David. David, his name means beloved. Okay, greatest kings of Israel. Okay, so his name is his beloved. David is the greatest kings of Israel. What made David became the greatest kings of Israel? Okay, so he's not the richest. Okay, he's not the wisest. He's not the one that's in peace longest or what. So what made David the greatest kings of Israel? Okay, that's your assignment. He's from the tribe of Judah. Okay, and actually God promised to David, and actually from the tribe of Judah and to David, his throne will be forever. His throne will be forever. So Jesus is from David. Okay, and call the man after God's own heart. Okay, he be called the man after God's own heart. Okay, God had chosen his another man as Samuel talked to Saul. God had chosen another man after his own heart. Okay, uh, David the shepherd. First Samuel chapter 16 verse 1 to 13. Samuel is instructed to visit the house of Jesse in Bethlehem and anoint one of his 8 sons as king of Israel. Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord hath not chosen these. Okay, and in fact Samuel has compassion or chosen one of them, but the Lord said no. Right? Okay, you read that one. And then after God rejects the first 7 sons, David is fetched from the sheep pasture and anointed by Samuel. Okay, Samuel chapter 16. Please read. Okay, and that anointing is a private anointing of Samuel upon David. Okay, because Samuel afraid that Saul will kill him. So he just said that he go to offer a sacrifice to the Lord. He did not tell Saul that he come to anoint David. Okay, so telling a half truth. Okay, was it right to tell a half truth? Okay, you read verse chapter 16. Okay, assignment. Samuel only tell half truth to Saul and to the people over there, the elders. When the elders asking Samuel, what are you doing here? Why are you doing here? Was it for peace, for good, or for bad? Samuel says, oh, it's for good. I just come to sacrifice unto the Lord, like that. And he did not tell that the Lord was asking him to go and anoint one of the person there to become king. So telling half truth, was it good or bad? Okay, so that will be your another assignment. Okay, please read First Samuel chapter 16. Okay, Bible characters, you have to read. You have to read the Bible. After finish Bible school, you have to finish all the Bibles, reading all the Bibles. Okay, so now king, not yet king. He just anointed to be king, but he was not king yet. So David, the musician, King Saul, is from his point of trouble by an evil spirit. Verse 14, the spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. Okay, and read 1 Samuel chapter 16, please. And another assignment. Assignment again, Pastor? Yes, another assignment. Why did God send an evil spirit from God to come to enter Saul and trouble Saul? Okay. The spirit of the Lord departed from Saul because Saul disobeyed God many times, and God said God will not be with him anymore. will take the kingdom out of him. So we understand. But my question is, why God sent another evil spirit come to trouble Saul? Okay, so read and meditate and answer. Okay, and look at this. Another questions. When the evil spirit came to Saul, okay, and the servant, Saul's servant said unto him, Behold, now an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. How can the servants of Saul know that an evil spirit of God come and troubleth Saul? How can the servants of Saul know that an evil spirit of God come and troubleth Saul? How can he know? What are the attitude of Saul, the reaction, the outside appearance of Saul, that the servant said that he is possessed by an evil spirit, okay, or demons? Oh no. So how? So now that is another assignment. Next assignment, and the servant said that you have to go and seek out a man who is cunning play on the harp, and it shall come to pass an evil spirit from God is come upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And just remember, just be amazed with that. How the servant knows that when Saul being troubled with an evil spirit, then someone will play harp and Saul will be okay again. Okay? Now just imagine if nowadays someone being possessed by demons, and you will go there and you will just take out the piano or the guitar and you play music, and that person will be well again. Do you think so? Okay, so uh, how can the servant knows that seek out the man who can play harps, and when the evil spirit come and that person play harp, and so will be well again? Okay, that is your assignment. Okay, next. David's beautiful music helps troubled soul. Okay, as we know on this one already. And yeah, the picture of David is correct. Okay, David is young man, look fair, handsome, and ruddy. Okay, means reddish. Is his skin is soft and red. That is David. That's what the Bible said. Okay, but he is famous with a cunning playing, mighty, valiant man, a man of war, prudent in matters, and comely person, and the Lord is with him. Look at this. David was famous, okay, even before he killed Goliath. Okay, David famous even before he killed Goliath, right? Okay, and he's famous in mighty valiant man, a man of war. Okay, remember this verse is happened before David killed Goliath. Okay, so his David was famous in valiant, mighty, and man of war before he killed Goliath already. So we have to take note of that. Be careful in your Bible teaching or Bible preaching. Do not say that David is just a young boy, knowing nothing, have never experienced war, etc. Okay, he fight, man of war. This verse mentions before David met Goliath. Okay, and then we move on, and Saul loved him, and then what's that? He put David become the armor bearers. And then uh, chapter 17, this is a time that David meet Goliath. Okay. Jesus sends David with some food for his brothers who are soldiers in Saul's army. Israel at this time was engaged in the battle with the Philistines. Okay, two of them on the mountain, and there is a valley between them. Okay, and then uh, upon arriving, David views a giant Philistine warrior who has 40 days, yes, brazenly insulted the armies of Israel and their God, touting them to send forth a soldier to do battle with him and thus determine the war. Okay, now look at this. The Philistines sent forth Goliath to challenge the Israelites. How many days? It's not 3 days, it's not 1 week, it's 40 days. That is a long time of boring, really boring. Why don't the Philistine, or why didn't the Philistine attack the Israelites? Why they keep on insulting Israelites for such a long time? Okay, they can discomfit or discomfit, right? Put down or discomfit the Israelites just only 1 week or 3 days or 2 weeks challenge. Okay, 1 month challenge, 30-day challenges. It's too much already. Why did they wait up to 40 days and did not attack yet Israelites? Just imagine the two side camping, just stay in there, no fighting, only challenge, day and after days, after day, after days. Okay, why? Okay, so you think and give your answer. Okay, please do the assignment. The giant's name was Goliath, and he was approximately 10 feet high. He wore a bronze helmet, 200-pound coat of mail, bronze leggings, and carried bronze javelin, several inches thick, tipped with 25 pounds of iron spearhead. How much is that? Around 15 kilos. Okay, the iron spearhead only, not including the body. Okay, so if included the body, like around 50 kilos. Imagine 50 kilos, we can carry it, but if we use that one to fight, we cannot. Okay, it's really heavy. So Goliath in chapter verse 10, verse 26, Elab, who is that? Elab, the brother of David. Okay, do not mock at David. Okay, do not believe in David. Okay, so read and you read verse all the chapter 17. David put his hand in his back and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, and the stone sunk into his head and he fell upon his face to the earth. Okay, this picture is wrong. Okay, this picture is wrong. He is not falling backward, he is falling forward. Okay, fell the face upon the earth. Okay, he falling forward. Okay, so it's not backward like the pictures here. So some concerning that maybe the stone just make the Goliath fell into unconscious, and then David ran and took the sword and cut off Goliath's head, and that's the time that he really died. Okay, and then David stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the shield thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith. David took the head of the Philistines and brought into Jerusalem, but he put forth his armor in his tent. And David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine. Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Okay. And David returns as heroes and envied by Saul. So from then, David was again trusted by Saul. Everywhere Saul go, David also go and fight. But everything begin when the daughters, okay, meaning the girls again, the girls, the women's daughters of Israel singing and dancing to meet King Saul. They with tabrets and with joy, instrument of music. But imagine they sang like this: Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. Okay, see the women rise up the trouble, and Saul gave. So what that Saul fell into jealousy. So set eye on David that day forward. Means so jealous. Set an eyes of jealous on David. David, the fugitive, as King Saul sought to kill him. Okay, fugitive means hiding. Okay, so run for your life, hiding. First Samuel chapter 18. Saul's characters manifested like jealousy and hatred. Saul's attempt to get rid of David. Twice he attempted to kill David with a javelin while he was playing the harp, not the harp, the harp before him. Okay, and just imagine that. The purpose of David playing harp is that the evil spirit will go out of Saul. But yet, Saul let the evil spirit control him and throw a javelin into David. But David turned himself and the javelin did not hit David, but hit into the wall or the column into the wall, stick there. It's a very, very strong hit. Okay, it's not a normal hit. Okay, you throw a javelin and it's hit into the clay wall. It's really hard hit. Okay, and then set him on dangerous military expeditions. And first, he is promised Mera if he will be valiant and fight the lost battle. But Mera was given to another man. And Saul found out that Michal loved David. Michal, the daughter of Saul. So he thought it to be a snare to David and asked for a dowry of 100 foreskins of the Philistines. Okay, of course, Philistines are uncircumcised. You cannot just go and buy it as foreskin. Okay, David have to kill 100 of them. But Saul thought to make David fail by the hand of the Philistines, but David did it. So Saul gave Michal to David as his wife. That is the first wife of David. David has a lot of wives, okay? And one thing I really don't understand, okay? And if you can help me to understand it. David was the one who wrote the book of Psalm. And in the book of Psalm said, in thy law do I meditate day and night. Okay, and in many book of Psalms that he wrote about the law of God, that he's meditate day and night. Even in Psalm 1, okay, blessed is the man, okay, and that sitteth not in the skillful, in the evil people, but he meditate the law of God day and night. But imagine in the book of Deuteronomy, I think Moses commanded all the kings that you should not have many wives. Okay, you should not have, or the king should not have many wives. Book of Deuteronomy. But David meditates upon God's words day and night, and yet he still took upon himself a lot of wives. And what is that? And how come God still consider David as a man after his own heart? And those are the things that I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand how David did it. Okay, so I will ask David in the heaven, or if you can have an answer, please give me and share to me or teach me. Okay, we move on. So Michael, actually, she's the first wife of David. Okay, David, the fugitive. Okay, so uh, Saul attempts to get rid of David when send an ambush to slay David while at Michael's house. Okay, but Michel's, okay, not Michael, Michel's David's wives told him ahead and let him down of the window, because their house is near the window like that. They get the rope down and escaped like that. So the king came and did not find David. And he sent 4 soldiers to take out of David from Ramah 3 times. And he himself, Saul himself, went to Ramah to kill David. Okay, so your assignment, read and answer me. What happened to Saul when Saul came to Ramah to kill David? What happened to him? Okay, so you read and do your assignment. Saul's challenge attitude towards David. On 2 occasions, David could have killed Saul, but didn't, since he regarded him as the Lord's anointed. First occasions, that in Samuel chapter 24 in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Okay, and Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of Israel and went to seek David. Just imagine that. 3,000 men to seek and kill David and his men. But when he came to the sheep cotes by the way, there was a cave, so Saul went into to cover his feet. Okay, now your assignment. Saul went into the cave to cover his feet. What did he do? What does it mean to be cover his feet? He is going to sleep as a picture, or he's going to poop. You go and poop, you cover your feet because you're going to poop. Okay, so yeah, that is your assignment. Okay, what did Saul do when the Bible said he went to cover his feet? Okay, and if it's sleep, why the Bible not yet do not say sleep? Why say cover his feet? Okay, and you think, okay, give some reasons and your research. Okay, that's your assignment. David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. Okay, and then you read this one. A second occasion, that is in Samuel chapter 26 at the hill of Hachilah. And the Ziphites came unto Saul to Gibeah, saying, Doth not David hid himself in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Jeshimon? So Saul arose and went down to the wilderness with 3,000 chosen men again to seek David. Okay, so you read this one. Abishai, okay, one of the men of David. He was so happy, okay, when Saul come, And he said, "It is God, deliver your enemy to your hand now. Allow me to go, and I will kill him. Only one spare, not two. Okay, only one spare, so will die, because Abishai is very fast, and he can sneak into the army camp and kill Saul, and went out, and no one can catch him. He's very mighty man." Okay, and then but David did not allow, okay, because David always considered Saul as the Lord's anointed, and did not allow him to do so. Okay, so now you read on, and Saul's attitude changed toward David. Okay, after the two tying. Now we return back to Saul. So in his last days, assignment again. Okay. Uh, so in his last days, the Philistine attacking him. He's so in trouble. He's asking God, but God did not answer Saul anymore. So he's so discouraged. So he went to look for the witch. And remember, in the Old Testament, witches are not allowed to live. In the law of Moses, if you found anyone who familiar spirit or witch, you have to kill that person immediately. Okay? But Saul, what happened? He disguised himself. Okay? And to find the witch. What's the purpose? To call up Samuel from the dead, to receive advice. Now, my questions or assignment. The one who appeared to Saul, the one which is called by the witch, was he Samuel or someone else? Was he Samuel or someone else? Okay, this is an open debate. Okay, because you are Bible school students, so I let you think and debate all the things that you can. Okay, so, and I will just check. Okay, so read the Bible before you research. Okay, do not research before you read. Read the Bible, study the Bible. You have to study Bibles, reference verses, use commentaries. Okay, in this sort here. Okay, you have commentaries here. Okay, there, a lot of commentaries. Okay, and concordance in dictionaries. You have concordance here. Okay, dictionaries here. So a lot of things you can use. Okay, do not use Google. Okay, Google somehow easy questions, but hard questions, Google will lead you somewhere else. So that's your assignment. Okay, so the final results, the Saul was dead, and as you know already. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan, okay, a very good friend of David, and Abinadab and Melchishua, Saul's sons. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was Saul wounded of the archers. And then said Saul to his armor bearer, "Draw thy sword, thrust me to therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me." But these armor bearers would not, so he saw afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. Then his armor bearers saw that Saul was dead. He fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. Okay, so that is the end of Saul. And the rise and fall of Saul. Okay. Step 1, he enters into the office of the priesthood. Okay. Step 2, he orders death of his own son, but people did not allow. Step 3, he spares Amalek God's enemies, disobedience to God. Okay, this is the most important one. And then the step 4, he is afflicted by evil spirit. Step 5, he attempts to kill David. Step 6, he curses and attempts to kill his own sons. Step 7, he slaughters 85 priests of God at the city of Nob when Saul pursued David. And step 8, he goes into the witch of Endor, and he was slain on the battlefield. Okay. So death is a person that sin unto death. Sin unto death. Okay, now talk about David, the sovereign king, his anointings, 3 anointings at Bethlehem, privately by Samuel. Okay, publicly at Hebron, a man of Judah, and David was reigned in Judah for 7.5 years. Okay, he was king of Judah, reigned in Judah, and after that he was reigned in all Israel and Judah in 33 years. Okay, David was 30 years old when he began to reign publicly, and he reigned for 40 years. And a period of civil war since Abner, Saul's general, makes Ishbosheth, Saul's son, king over the 11 tribes. After a long war between Saul's house and David's house, Abner breaks with Ishbosheth and attempts to negotiate with David. David agrees to cooperate. David's achievements as king of all Israel. David captured Jerusalem from the Jebusites and made it his permanent capital. Actually, the name Jerusalem is not named by the Israelites, okay? It's by the Jebusites. And David changed the name into the city of David, but I do not know, it was not successful. Up to nowadays, the people still call it Jerusalem. No one calls city of David. And David brings the Ark of the Covenant to the city of David. And David then anointed some of the Levites to minister before the Ark of the Lord and to record and to thank and praise the Lord God of Israel. He decides to build a temple, but his request was not allowed by God. But God promised to be what his son will build a temple for God. Okay, so David prepared the materials abundantly for Solomon. Adultery and murder. The indulgent king lusts after and lies with Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah, one of his soldiers. Bathsheba becomes pregnant and reports to David. Uriah is hurried, called home from the battlefield under the pretext that he might visit his wife, and thus later believed that the unborn child would be his. Wow, just imagine that. David just want to cover up, but Uriah apparently realized the truth of the situation and refused to cooperate. Okay, so really, Uriah realized the truth. Okay, I do not know there's a Bible verses to say that Uriah realized the truth. Okay, so this is just add in. You have to correct it. Uriah did not went into his wife because he was thinking about the soldiers, the friends on the field on the battle, and he cannot sleep with his wife in peaceful. How come my brothers, the soldiers are fighting in the battle, so he sleep outside. So that's what the Bible said. But Uriah realized the truth of the situation, and I do not know about this. Okay, you find the Bible verses for this. In an act of desperation, David sends him back with a sealed letter to Joab to arrange his death in battle. Imagine, very cruel. Joab disagree with that, but because of the king commands, he had to obey. Oh no, because when you attack the war, the wall, okay, the wall, and you approach the wall so near, uh, on the top they can throw anything down and you will die. And David sent a letter to ask Joab to send Uriah to the death. Cái này là mượn tay giết người nè. So Uriah is killed and David marries Bathsheba. But of course, nothing can hide from the Lord. So after Bathsheba's child is born, Nathan the prophet related in the parable to David. Of course, you know the story. So David's anger knows no limit, and he vows that the cruel man will pay back the fourfold of his sins. Okay, that's the story, you know it already. So please read this one to know the story, and later you see truly David was that the Lord required David to pay back fourfold. Okay, he killed one, the Lord killed four. He did it in privately with Bathsheba. The Lord did it in publicly under the sun with all of his wives and concubines. Imagine that. Okay. Wow. 7 days after David's confessions, the first installments come due for the child dies. Okay. And then you read this one. Now, God forgave David, but he would require payback fourfold. What were those? 7 days after David's confessions, the first installment comes due, for the child dies. After the child, Ammon died. After Ammon, Absalom and Adonijah, 4 sons, died. Okay, so David succumbs to the temptations of Satan and numbers Israel. So Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel, because the Lord commanded the kings already, do not number the Israelites. Okay, but they go and numbers. Okay, David said to Joab, go and number. Okay, Joab, he did not, he did not like it, but the king command, he have to do it. Okay, so there's number there. A bit more. David's and God was displeased with these things, therefore he smote Israelites. And David said unto God, I have sinned greatly, because I have done this thing. But now I beseech thee, do away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. So David repents and is offered by God one of 3 kinds of punishment. Number 1, 7 years of famine. Number 2, flee 90 days before his enemies. Number 3, 3 days pestilence. Okay, he chose the third. Okay, why did David chose the third? Okay, your assignment, the answer is inside the Bible. It's very easy, just read and you can find it already. Why did he choose the third? Okay, next we go to Solomon already. Okay, so we end here. David, please do your assignment.